Hello guys, welcome to another video of DevOps. In this video, we are going to discuss about Git. We'll be comparing Git commit and Git rebase, and we'll see what are the differences, what are the use cases where we can basically use Git commit and where we can use Git rebase along with all the real life examples, and we'll with the different scenarios. Let's begin the video. So why compare Git commit and Git rebase? As we know, Git is a powerful tool for version control, and this is the most commonly asked question in DevOps and Git interviews. If you are preparing for Git or DevOps kind of interviews, you will have to understand this. What is the difference between Git commit and Git rebase? Generally, interviewer uh, ask this question in most of the interviews. Okay, so for that, you will have to understand this, the differences and comparison. Okay, understanding core commands like commit and rebase is crucial for efficient workflows. Whenever you have to work with Git, you have to understand where to use Git commit and where to use Git rebase. Okay, this video simplifies their differences and when to use each. Okay, what is Git commit? Let me start by explaining the Git commit. So whenever you are adding the changes, whenever you just created your feature branch from the main branch, you did your changes, you added your code, then you will have to commit that code. Okay, so this records changes in the local repository. You might have cloned the remote repository inside your local, and once you have done the changes, you can just git commit that. You can basically commit that changes whatever you have done inside the local repository itself. Okay, forms the foundation of Git versioning system. Key points: each commit has a unique ID. Suppose you just added one change and you saved and committed that, so it will generate one unique ID, and once you have committed that, that change will not be lost. Okay, but if you have not committed that, if your computer is shut down or something like that, that change will be lost. Okay, acts as a snapshot of the project at a specific time. This generally acts as a snapshot with each commit. Whenever you are adding the commit, that commit will be stored in the local repository inside your local machine. Okay, this is the git commit. Whenever you are pushing these changes, then only it will be pushed to the remote repository. If you are not pushing, everything will be stored inside your local repository itself. This is the example: git commit command, git commit -m, that means message. You can add the commit message here, like you have made this change or that change. You can add the commit so that if other developers see that later, they can just understand with the commit message like what this commit is all about. Okay, let's move ahead. The next is git rebase. What is git rebase? This moves or combines a sequence of commits to a new base commit. So whenever you make the changes, generally you do multiple commits. Suppose you just added something inside your .NET code or Java code. You made one change and you committed that. So it will generate one commit ID. Okay. And again, you did some different change, or you added that again, and you committed that again. So it will generate another commit. So this way you will get multiple commits. Suppose if you have made the changes 1000 times, it will generate 1000 commits. Okay, so whenever if someone sees that of, or if you are merging that code to the main branch, they will be seeing all the 1000 commits for you, for your change, and it will be very difficult for them to understand like why, who made all these commits and why. Okay, so for that purpose you can use the git rebase to merge all the commits into a single commit. Okay, you can see the definition here: moves or combines a sequence of commits to a new base commit. So you can basically combine all the 1000 commits into a new commit. Okay, you will be able to combine all the commits and it will generate only one commit, so that whenever you merge the code, your whole changes of all the 1000 commits will be merged with the just the single commit. So this is the advantage of Git rebase. Okay, this also you can say this is the squash commit if you are creating the pull request and merging with squash merge. So this will basically merge all the commits and generate one single commit. This is used for streamlining and cleaning up the commit history. Okay, like we already discussed, since this merged all the commits and just generate one single commit, this streamlines and you can clip all, I mean you can clean up all the commit history. Uh, you don't need to merge all the commits. Just rebase that and merge it later, so that in your main branch or master branch only single commit will be visible. Okay, if you are merging without rebasing that, then all the 1000 commits will be visible, and if someone checks the history, it will be very difficult for them to understand, like only your 1000 commits will be visible at first, so they will not be able to see other people changes. Okay, so for that purpose we generally use the git rebase. This is the example git rebase main. With this command you can rebase the changes. Let's discuss the key differences in this table between git commit and git rebase. What is the purpose? Git commit save changes locally, and this git rebase reorganize or update commit history. Okay, basically you can merge or you can combine all the commit in one single unit or single commit. The impact, this creates a new commit whenever you just run this command git commit. This will save your changes, or basically you can say your changes will be saved by you, and this will just create another commit id and another commit. Okay, this git rebase alters commit base or sequence, like we discussed already. Use case, this we can use for incremental development. Incremental development is nothing but adding multiple commits, so that all the commits will be visible inside your commit history, like who made this change or who made that change. With git rebase we get clean commits, linear project history. Okay, so suppose if you have multiple developers, suppose you have 20 developers working for a repository, and they are running this git rebase for all their commits, so all the project history or commit history will be linear and it will be very easy to track. But if you have 20 developers and they are not merging their or rebasing their commits, then it will be very difficult for you to check, basically check like who is making what change. Okay, so it will be very difficult to check the commit history. The risk is very low in git commit, because all the commits will be visible, and in git rebase risk is quite high. If you are using the shared branches, this is, I mean, the risk is also high, since all the commits are being merged, and if you have to revoke that, if you want to revert something, it will be very difficult to revert as well. Okay, suppose you have 1000 commits and you want to just revert 100 of them. Since you have merged them to single unit, it will be very difficult for you to revert them. Okay, so this is the disadvantage we get with git rebase. Use cases, we'll be discussing use cases for both git commit and git rebase. Let me discuss first for the git commit. This we can use for regular development. If you have to add features or if you have to fix the bugs, you can go for regular, you can go for, or you will have to do the git commit. Generally in this case we do the git commit. For capturing incremental progress we do this, and this is the example: writing code for a new feature and committing daily. Okay, so whatever you are adding, for that you will have to run the git commit command. With this command only, you will be able to commit your changes, whatever you are making. But in case of git rebase, this generally we use to clean up the messy history before merging. Suppose you have 1000 or even more commits, you can clean up that before merging to the master branch, keeping a feature branch updated with the main branch. Okay, you can update your feature branch to the main branch, so that and if you are just using git commit and rule not rebase, you won't be able to update the feature branch with the main branch because you don't know which commit has been merged to my main branch. Example, for example, generally we linearize commits before submitting a pull request. That is nothing but which we discussed already, merging all the commits before submitting the pull request or merging that to your main or master branch. This is the real life example. Consider this scenario. Suppose your feature branch is behind the main branch. Solution with commit, continue working, commit changes and merge later. But in case of rebase, you can rebase onto the main branch to incorporate updates. Okay. Result commits create a merge commit, and in case of rebase, this creates a clean and linear history. What are the best practices? Git commit, write meaningful commit messages, commit small and logical changes. But in case of Git rebase, avoid rebasing shared branches. Generally, if you have shared branch, you don't need to rebase that because once you have completed rebasing, it's very difficult to revert that. Use interactive rebase for better control. Always create a backup branch. So before rebasing the change, make sure you are creating another feature branch or some backup branch so that all your changes are available inside that with all the required commits. Suppose you have 1000 commits and you want to rebase that, make sure you are creating another branch so that in the new created branch you have all the commits in there without rebasing that. Okay, so always it's advisable, or in case of you can say something happened or you have to revert that in that case make sure you are creating the backup branch. Let's finally discuss the summary. We discussed about git commit and git rebase. We discuss all the differences as well. So git commit and git rebase serve different purposes like we discussed already. Git commit you can use to commit your changes inside the local repository and also to the remote repository. But in case of git rebase, you will have to just rebase the changes. Rebase means just merge the changes, merge all the commits into a single unit or single commit before merging it to the main or master branch. Okay, use commit for local snapshot and rebase for clean history. Okay, select based on your workflow and collaboration needs. You can select it based on your requirements as well. Suppose your organization don't support or they don't need or they generally don't ask to rebase their changes, you don't need to do that. Generally it depends on the organization, like what they are following, what is the strategy basically they are following for git commit and git rebase. In some of the organization then they generally ask you to rebase the change first then merge it, but in some of the organization they generally don't ask you to rebase because they want to keep all the commits which you might have done or which developers might have done for their change. Okay, so it depends on the requirement and depends on the organization to organizations. Okay, that's it from this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions or feedback, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.